Welcome back everyone, this is Mondo All Day, back with another video, and in this video I'll be doing an overview of the Amazon exclusive gold label. This is Lobo and Spacehog. This is going to be the, I guess you can say 2-pack or single pack or however you want to call it. Basically it's going to be Lobo, Spacehog. Always I'll be talking about the figure and vehicle itself in terms of the articulation, sculpture, and paint, and if it's worth your purchase. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not only support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So let's take a look at the box. This is one side of the box, just gold label. Alright. And then there's the top. I'm trying to get the full image of it, so it's kind of hard. This is that. And then this is gold label here. And then the back of it. You guys can see the back. Back of it. Comes the additional head. The size, just DC Multiverse. Not much to it. On both sides is this. And the bottom, it's going to show you how to put the items on there. This is the bottom. And of course, the barcode for those of you who want that. Alright, now let's take a look at the vehicle. Figure outside the box. Unfortunately, this vehicle and figure 2-pack does not come with a card, nor does it come with a puck stand, because, well, you do get Spacehog, but it does come with some accessories. One of the accessories is going to be the chain, which we've seen before, and is similar design to the one we previously received, or not received, but we've gotten from the previous Lobo figure, so there's that typical chain. It does come with Dog himself, and this is a great looking bulldog. One, look at that face, the eyes. I wish the eyes were a glossy red. This is just like a matte red, which is fine, but I wish it came with glossy red. Then you got the teeth, the nose on there, and of course his little pilot, like helmet type thing. You got that chain around his neck, the spikes I should say, black, and no articulation. Is just plain old like bulldog, very muscle tone here on the chest, and this is Dog. It looks really cool. Perfect add-on to this particular 2-pack, and I'm really liking this one right there. It does come with an extra head piece for this particular 2-pack, and here is going to be Lobo, the additional head, and man, this head detail is incredible. The painted teeth, the mouth, the tongue, the eyes. Look at that nice glossy red eyes. Then you got that black paint on there. And the face paint is actually not white. I know the previous figure, the original one, that one back there, had more of a whiter face paint, but it's actually not on this one. So it's more like gray, which I actually like. Then you got that very stylized, spiky Dragon Ball Z hair type of design. And it looks really good, man. The eyes look incredible. Just look at that detail on that. You gotta admit, this is a great looking headpiece. And it does come with extra pin for the head. And for the stand, I'll show you the guitar. You see right there, it says the main man. Then you got the red skulls on there. They're painted obviously red. And then more of that detail of the actual guitar itself. And really cool looking. So much design, so much detail. Detail. You got that pearl gray with a little bit of the shadowing with the black, dark grays. Again, it's just a mixture of different colors, and it looks really nice. And again, this is part of the base, and I'll show you the base as well too. Here is the base, and you can see the nice bright Lobo logo on there, and again, more detail. This is going to be part of the piece that where you can put underneath the Spacehog, and you can see around there it says you're welcome, the main man. You can see right there, and again, more of that detail, more of that dirtiness kind of metal, which I like a lot. Then it says here smile dipstick, It's just right here. Again, so much detail on it, and the way you put this accessory, two little nipples right here. Put it in, if I can get it, just like so. Yeah, pretty much it. So, there you go. Pretty simple, not much to it. And there you go. I had to put it in a little bit more. There you go. So, that's how it looks like from a distance. And up close, you can see that. And of course, the main thing that people are going to be wanting to get, it's going to be Spacehog. And don't worry, I'll do an overview of this one as well too. So don't worry, I will be showing you more in depth about it. Just give me a moment. But yes, this thing is huge and long. I don't mean it like that for you dirty-minded people, but yeah, all you do is slide it in the very bottom, right? You can see the hole right there. And then you slide this in. And then that's how essentially it's standing on it. Which I'm not going to put it on right now, because we'll be doing an overview of Spacehog himself. Now let's take a look at the figure itself. We'll start off with the articulation. So articulation, left, right. It's unfortunate, it's limited because of the hair right there, which, yeah, very, very limited. Up, down, same thing because of the hair back there. Shoulder. Bicep, elbow, ooh, it's a little stiff, wrist, if I can figure out which way it articulates. I know it does articulate, just can't figure out which way. I know the wrist articulates, just I don't want to break it, so I'll leave it like that. Torso, front, back is not the greatest, and then there is swivel, leg, knees, ankles, limited because it hits right here, and last but not least, toes as well. So overall, the articulation of this figure, it's not the greatest, to be completely honest with you, but it's okay though, because the design of this figure definitely makes it up for it. First off, let's take a look at this headpiece. You gotta admit, this looks fantastic. That grin, it reminds me of the Joker, but a really powerful Joker because this is Lobo. But look at the red eyes, the nice glossy red eyes. You got that black face paint on there, and of course the white face paint. Then you have like that long hair, which looks nice, just plain black, not much to it. I know the previous one, which I'll compare it in a bit, did have the blue like marks on the hair. This one's just all plain black, similar to the additional headpiece, but this headpiece looks fantastic. McFarlane nailed this figure, because the original one, it looks good, it's just the white paint's too white, which again I'll compare it in a bit. This one, to me, I think McFarlane nailed it. It looks really, really, really nice, and so this headpiece alone looks incredible. Then you have the arms. Both arms, it's just very muscle tone, not much to it. You can see a little bit of the vein right here. Big shoulder, big bicep, and triceps. Right, the forearm has this kind of weird, like a rope, not rope, but I don't even want to call it, kind of material. Then you have the gloves on there. And on this side, it's going to be identical. Oh, little design here's a little different right there. You got that weird design here in the forearm. And then you have the torso itself. You have the jacket, it's all ripped up, which I actually like that. And then you got the spikes here. The pockets. Of course, it has that leather look and feel of the jacket, but obviously it's not. Then you have here in the back, it says, "Bite me, fanboy." I like the paint on it. I like it, actually feel it. It's not just painted on there. I actually like that a lot. That's actually textured. You can see it right there. And again, more of that leather look to it. And so overall, the upper body on this figure looks really nice. Then you got the light blue undershirt. It's a little bit ripped on there, which again, it gives it an extra style look to it. And so overall, this upper body, I think this figure looks incredible. Great looking figure. A lot of people make fun of this figure, the original one, because of the face. To me, I think apart from the face on the original one, everything else on this figure looks incredible. And again, for the price you're paying for it, I mean, you gotta admit, this looks really, really, really nice. Then you have the belt. I like the design of the belt. It has a leather look to it and feel, but of course it's not. Then you got that nice, like, grayish look to it. A little bit of shadowing. There's the back of the jeans with the pockets. And he does somewhat squats, but he definitely does a lot of hamstrings. So look at that. Look at those hamstrings. Then you got like that the jean kind of folded look to it. The back of the strap. I wish the straps were painted maybe a black. I think they would have popped more. It's just like a washed out jean look to it. It's not bad. It's just, if this was black, I think it would have been a lot better. Or this was brown, I think it would have popped even more. There's the back of the shoe. And there's the front of it. More of that kind of jean bagginess to it. Then you got the skulls for the knee pads, and very, very detailed. I do like the paint on this one. I say this one because there are some differences on this figure compared to the previous one, which again, I'll compare it in a bit. Really, really thick skull. You can see it. The teeth on there, and then the spikes here on the side. Then you have more design here on the feet itself. More of the buttons on here as well, too, on the toes. And so, overall, this figure itself, just the figure itself, incredible looking figure. And this particular version, honestly, I like this one a lot more compared to the previous one, because there are some differences in terms of the paint, which again, I'll compare it in a bit. And so, overall, this figure by itself, great looking Lobo figure. The headpiece, the extra headpiece as well too, looks really nice. Either or look good, but as it is right now, just looks top notch. Just one of those figures to where this is going to be an attention grabber, especially with that paint here, like this right here. It's very subtle, but it just looks really nice. When you have a light on it like this, it just pops. And then you look at the rest of the figure, it's like, damn, man, this is a great looking Lobo figure. And so far, this 2-pack, for what you're paying, heck, it's a great looking figure. Loving this Lobo version. Now let's take a look at Spacehog. I'll try my best to show everything as much as possible. This thing is really, really, really long. I mean, just look at this. Right, the box says it's 21 inches long. And I'll say this right now. If you want a display piece, this is it for you. This is going to be a perfect display piece. I say that because other vehicles with McFarlane, they're not bad. It's just, they're like, oh, this is kind of cool vehicle, and that's it. This, to me, is a display piece. And I'm emphasizing display piece because I have to admit, and I have to give it a minus point per se, is it does feel very, very, very light. Like, watch. I'm going to tap it right here. I'm going to tap it again next to my mic. I'm saying this because it feels really light, and it feels like if it falls, it's going to crack. So that's why I'm emphasizing on the whole display piece, because this is a perfect display piece. If you're going to be playing it, like let's say give it to your nephew or anything like that, I would be careful because I have a feeling this is going to break. What this reminds me of, similar to the, I think it's called Bat Buster or Justice Buster. I'll have an image somewhere to the right. You can see what I mean, which Mega Fig, where it looks cool and it's big, but it does kind of feel a little bit cheap. So this has that same kind of feeling. So it is of a downer, but I figured, I'll be honest and I'll give you my honest opinion on that. With that said, this thing looks incredible, man. First off, we start off with the front. Look at the skull, the painted eyes. I wish the eyes were glossy red, but it's fine though. But it has like a creamy pearl look, but like a bit of a shadowing of brown on this, so it makes it look dirty, which I actually like that. And here's the front of it, the motorcycle. The blue is really, really nice because even though like the base paint is blue, it does have some like glitter grays here and there. You can see right here perfectly right there. See what I mean? That grayish, glittery. It looks really nice when you have it underneath some light. It does pop even more. Because if this was just all plain blue, it would just look kind of plain, obviously. But having that kind of glitterish silver to it, that brush to it, looks really nice. Same thing with this big old engine. There's the front of the engine right there, the intake port. Looks like it's just a sticker that's glossy, which is fine, but it's okay. But the engine detail, again, it has more of that brush brown look to it. Seems to me the base paint is going to be gray, but then they added some brown to it and make it look like it's copper. Obviously it's not, but the color choices on here, it looks really, really nice. It's a huge standout. So much detail. Then you have here the ridiculously detailed engine. Just look at all that. And it has that kind of like brush look to it. You can see what I mean right here. See that? All the piping, all that. It just looks fantastic. All that detail. And then you have like kind of like a leather seat to it. Buttons on there. There's the back of it. And here underneath, there's nothing to it. The gas tank, which should be on here. And then there's the big old jet engines, from my understanding. Just look at all that detail. Look at that paint. You have to admit, this looks badass. So much going on. And again, like I said, this is a perfect display piece. So if you're like, hey man, Mondo, I want to have a display piece for McFarlane, something that looks weird and odd and it's definitely getting people's attention, this is it for you. This is an attention grabber. Just look at all this detail. And again, I'm holding it with one hand. That's, hopefully you guys get what I'm saying when regarding the lightness to it. So, and here's the other side of the engine. Going to be identical. There's going to be that turbine on there. More of that brush gray look to it, glitter to it. More scuff marks to it, which I like. That's one thing I like about this one, is the paint on its scuff. I know some of the vehicles are very plain, just black or gray. I like having it like this. Something about it just pops. When you have like scuff marks here and there, it just looks like it's used. Obviously it's not, but you get what I'm saying though. So much detail on it. Like, this just looks really nice. And for what you're paying, just top notch. And we'll do underneath. You can see the rest of it. You can see in the front of it, there's not much to it. There's just plain, well, whatever this is right here. And there's that. And then the back of it, if I can show you, it just has the vents on there. There's more detail right there as well too. And the back, those vents, these don't open up, so that's that. And I don't see any articulation on this particular vehicle, except for this. You can actually remove this if you don't want it. All you do is pull it from here and there, and it's pretty flimsy. But I gotta say, this thing looks fantastic. There is no other word for it. It's just incredible. And I'll say this again, this is really long and a display piece. Keep that in mind, because it is very light and it is very long. Not sexual, but you get what I'm saying. So overall, this particular vehicle, incredible detail for the price that you're paying for, which I'll talk about in a bit. The pricing, top notch, man. This is a must-have vehicle and 2-pack. But of course, the main question is it really worth it? Should you go out and get this 2-pack or Lobo and Spacehog? For $70, heck yeah, it's definitely worth it. Because think about it. The figure itself is like $20, right? So that's like $50 left. The vehicle, it's around $30, but honestly, if this vehicle were to be sold separately, I wouldn't be surprised if McFarlane would charge like $40 for it. So if you do $40 for the vehicle, $20 for the figure, that's $60. That leaves you with extra $10 for the base, the accessory, which is a chain, the additional headpiece, and dog himself. Again, for $70, this is a must-have. So if you're wondering, Mono, should I get it? Absolutely, definitely get it. And for $70, heck yeah, that is definitely a great deal for it. Definitely get it. Apart from the price, though, what's my opinion of this 2-pack? Absolutely must buy. But I will say this, and I'm emphasizing it, it's a perfect display piece. If you want a more articulated type of vehicle, don't get this one. If you're looking to have this vehicle, maybe your nephews or your kids want to play with it, don't give it to them, because, like I said, when you get it out the box, you're going to feel the weight right away. You're going to be like, oof. Giving it to a kid to play, it's probably going to break, so keep that in mind. So overall, what do I give this 2-pack? Easily thumbs up for me. Again, for $70 for what you're getting for all of this, heck yeah, this is definitely a must buy. So again, if you're wondering, Mondo, should you get it? Absolutely get it one now before they're gone. This is a gold label. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to be waiting and then find out that it's sold out and then you're left out. So yes, definitely get one before they're gone. Here we have the original Lobo to the right, and obviously the Amazon exclusive one to the left. Now, in terms of the actual design itself, the sculpture, that's going to be the same. That's going to be identical. The main difference is going to be the paint. As I mentioned regarding the paint, this one has more whiter paint on the face. If you can see that, see the face paint? This one is more grayer paint. Number 2, the hair paint. This one has like a blue marks to it. This is all black. Another difference too is going to be the undershirt. This one's just more flatter, washed out. This has like a kind of a gloss to it. Same thing with the arms. If you can see right here, this one's more shinier compared to this one. So the main difference is, again, it's going to be just the paint. Another paint difference, which I'm pretty sure you guys can see, is going to be the actual like boot itself. As I mentioned, this one looks a lot better. This has like a certain shine to it. Let me see if my camera can pick it up. And there you go. The skull on here, it has like a certain shine to it, like a certain glossy paint, and it looks nice. This one is more matte. See that? It's not as shiny. It doesn't have that kind of shine to it. Also, the jeans have like a glossy to it. This one has more like a washed out jeans. You can see right there. So in terms of the design, they are identical, but the big difference is going to be just the paint. Same with the buckle. The buckle matches up with this kind of paint. This has that kind of more not matter, but more matte look to it in terms of the paint right here. Like I said, in terms of the actual sculpture design, they are identical, but the big difference is just going to be the paint. So to me, I prefer this one. I do like this more matte to it, but yet right here has like a shine to it, and it just pops more. So again, that is just me. To each their own. I'll show you the back of it as well, so you guys can see that. And again, it's going to be the same thing. I will say though, this has a more, the saturation is a little bit better on this one. Hopefully my camera can pick it up. The saturation is a bit more on this one compared to this one. This is more like red. This is more of like a lighter red, like a red-orange type of thing. Not a huge difference, but it's very, very, very subtle. Here we have Brainiac from the Injustice 2 video game wave, and Lobo, another Superman villain. Great addition to the DC Multiverse. Brainiac looks incredible, and also Brainiac has this kind of paint. So if you have Brainiac, and when I was showing you the Spacehog in terms of the paint, like the brush paint, if you have Brainiac, look right here, like the grays have like a brush kind of look to it paint. Also Spacehog has that a lot, so just a little kind of FYI. Here we have Lobo next to Lex Luthor Armored Edition. Or just, I think it's just called Armor, if I remember correctly. Great paint on this particular figure. Very underrated figure. A lot of people just bought it and forgot about it, including myself. But now I'm looking at him like, damn, this is a great looking figure. The detail, the design, even the headpiece, even though this headpiece does have side eyes. Anyway, so here we have two different Superman villains. One's human and the other is not. Here we have Superman himself, Superman from the Injustice 2 video game wave. And yeah, he is a lot taller. So if you have this particular Superman, he is a lot taller. So keep that in mind. So if you want to display him, well, just FYI, he's a lot taller. Here we have the Wolverine from Animal Man, and of course, Dog from the Lobo 2-pack. Just showing you two different animals. I haven't gotten the Superman Krypton Collector's Edition one, so I can't compare the two. And yes, he looks like he's taking a poop. He's not. He has a kind of a lean pose to it, but in certain angles, he does look like Dog is taking a poop, which he's not though. Just showing you two different animals next to each other. Here we have Spacehog, and I wanted to show you in comparison in terms of the actual length. Again, this is 21 inches, Spacehog. So if you have the Batman White Knight Bat Cycle, so if you extend it all the way, just like so, just showing you in terms of the length, and yes, this one is still longer. Just look at the difference. So, like I said, if you have the space for Spacehog, definitely get one. It's going to be an attention grabber, so if you have limited space, be careful, because again, this thing is big. It's pretty darn big. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with me on this 2-pack? Do you plan to purchase this 2-pack? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not only support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. This includes an overview of the Amazon exclusive Gold Label 2-pack that includes Lobo and Spacehog. And on to the next one.